So let's jump into verse 4. As Moses has gone up to the mount, first time in verse 3 here, and then in verse 4 he says, "Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself." So it's this reminder of, I did that for you, and I brought you to me. I brought you out here into this wilderness where you're not relying on all of that stuff that you used to rely on back in Egypt, those flesh pots and the relative predictability of your servitude to Pharaoh. You're out here because you're now going to serve me. I brought you to me. Now, one of the most significant parts of the entire Old Testament record possibly comes next in these next two verses. Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed. Now, did you notice that this whole covenantal connection begins with that word, now? So he set the stage. I brought you out here. I brought you to me. Now, if, those two letters, if, this conditional statement, if ye will, and then look at the conditions, obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then. So notice that the if clause, the conditional clause, has two conditions that need to be met. If we will obey his voice indeed and keep his covenant, then the outcome, the promised blessing is, ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for the earth is mine. This peculiar treasure, this set apart, this dedicated special treasure that God has set up, and tying it back into the Abrahamic covenant, it wasn't ever intended to be exclusive. The covenant of salvation is going to be found in this setting, in this family. And everybody, all nations, kindreds, tongues, and people are going to be invited into that covenant relationship with God by being adopted into that family if they're not already in the family. It's here where God has established, this is going to be my peculiar people, a peculiar treasure. And then look at the very next verse, verse 6. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Notice the wording. You're going to be unto me a kingdom of priests. So here's the Prince of Peace, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, who stands at the top of this kingdom of his. And he's saying, I'm going to make you a kingdom of priests. Isn't it interesting living in the dispensation of the fullness of times where we don't stop there? It's been added upon, line upon line. It's even bigger and more glorious and grand than you read right here as it comes to us in Exodus 19. That God isn't just building a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Today, our message to the world is, we're building a kingdom of kings and queens, priests and priestesses. It is the gates to the Holy of Holies, so to speak, the presence of God have been thrown wide open, and the message is for all to come into the presence of God. Black, white, bond-free, male, female. All are invited to come into this amazing covenant connection with God.